All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar. There's more and more people joining every minute. Thank you for all those that have turned up promptly and on time. We're just going to give it another 1 minute before we get started for anyone that's still joining us. We'll get started just here momentarily. All right, it is 1 minute past the hour. Jeff, if you're good to go, then I think we'll go ahead and get started in the interest of time. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar. I also wanted to take this opportunity to briefly introduce myself to many of you for the first time. My name is Hadley O'Dwyer, the VP of Customer Success and Engagement here at HotelREZ. Recently joined the organization, but I wanted to explain just at a very high level my charter and my main focus is really helping drive customer outcomes, ensuring that our members are achieving measurable commercial value from our distribution and technology and partners, really owning the end-to-end customer journey and customer experience. So ensuring that we're delivering relevant information, relevant to where you are in the customer journey and really what the desired outcomes you are wanting to drive. Driving partnership and future collaboration, really representing you as members internally, so giving a voice to the customer, and ultimately building long-term and trusted relationships. Now that's enough about me, and I know that's not the reason that you joined today. So I wanted to really get on with things. Today's session will run for approximately 30 minutes. We'll be introducing and showcasing Tour Manager, and we're really pleased and happy that you could join us today. And thank you again for taking the time. At a very high level, a little bit about Tour Manager and the HotelREZ partnership. We've partnered with IOL to bring a really exciting and new distribution channel. The partnership is designed to really help hotels and hoteliers grow wholesale and tour operator leisure business, really helping you capture more leisure demand, unlocking new global markets, and really driving incremental revenue through tour operators. A little bit about what Tour Manager does and the operational benefits. I don't want to steal Jeff's thunder, so I'll leave that bit up to him. But we can always discuss post-call any integration or further questions you might have around some of the operational benefits or the commercial modeling. It's really important to mention that today's session is being recorded, so there's no real need to be scribbling down too many notes. After the session, we'll be distributing a copy of the deck along with some more information. And should you have any other questions, or if you think this is of interest and you want to delve a little deeper, then please feel free to reach out to your account manager or email us at accountmanagement@hotelrez.com. Last thing from me, it's important that there is a Q&A session at the end. So should you have any questions as we progress through the session today, and as Jeff takes us through some of the main benefits of this partnership, please feel free to drop those questions into the team's chat, and we've allocated some time at the end to ensure that we get as many of those answered as possible. Without further ado, I'm delighted to hand over to Jeff. Jeff is the Chief Commercial Officer at IOL. And Jeff, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening. I don't know where you are in the world, but a little bit about IOL before I start the presentation is that we started out about 25 years ago as the ERP platform for Dare Touristic. So we were a tour operator platform. About 10 years ago, we pivoted away from that. We sold the code and we moved over to a technology connector to connect offline tour operators to hotel chains. That was at the request of some of the big global chains, of which Marriott is probably at the forefront, but there were many others that came after Marriott, that we're wanting to connect DMCs and tour operators and the folks that are not normally connected to a channel manager. Some are, but many are not. And it was also to improve conversion, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. What's in it for the hotels, I like to start with the end in mind, is that today onboarding a new customer and connecting a new customer can be quite tedious and a lot of work. We make it really simple. So once you're connected to Tour Manager, if you want to add, if someone comes to your hotel and says, hey, I'd like to get access to your B2B wholesale rates, all you have to do is let your account manager know at HotelREZ, hey, we want to connect this demand partner. They will contact us and we'll get them connected if they're not already live. So we have about 2,000 connected partners, of which about 350 at any one time are live and transacting. The rest are connected, and some of them do what we call one-to-one connections. That's if you have credit. So if you have a credit with a DMC, I don't know your locations. In some areas of the world, you'll have credit with a DMC. If that's the case, that connection is also possible outside of the platform. So either you participate and open up your rates to all of the buyers on the platform minus your DND list, and each one of you can have a different DND list. We have our own DND list that we don't allow distribution to for our partners. So if I'm distributing to one of our partners, they're not allowed to distribute to Booking.com or Expedia or Agoda or any of those partners. You can imagine why. We don't want rate leakage. So the first point was to simplify your onboarding. When you want to onboard a new partner, you really don't have to do more than just tell HotelREZ we want to add this new agency or give them access to our rates. We also have found a recipe for reducing and almost eliminating revenue leakage. And that's by, we pay our hotels $250 for any BRG violation. So, and that's kept, and that's pulled from the wallets of our partners. And that keeps them in line. It keeps them from doing things that they might want to do, but they also don't want to pay that penalty. The other thing hotels have always wanted is full visibility. Who's booking? Who? I don't want to see, web beds or hotel beds or EPS. I want to see who's on the other end booking my hotel. We give full visibility, and I'll show you today what that looks like. And then the last bit is hidden, but is access to new source markets and new clients. So by connecting us, we've got over, like I said, over 2,000 connected partners all over the world. And we share that list. So at any time you can see the most updated list. This is why it's important. None of these, I would say most of these names won't be familiar names, maybe on the left more. On the left-hand side, what you're seeing are tour operators. On the right-hand side, you're seeing the systems that they use. And this is what has kept tour operators and DMCs offline. And offline, as many of you know, is a pain because you've got to have stop sells and cutoffs and all these things that used to be my reality 30 years ago that are just not the way we need to operate in today's world. So if you have an appetite to connect partners to your online dynamic B2B rates, this tour manager is the way to go. The advantages, and I'll flip through these. I talked about the onboarding. It makes it really simple to connect a new partner. No more, your team can focus on optimization while we focus on onboarding new partners. It does drive better conversion. The reason it does is because we do not touch your rates. So whatever rates you push to us, we push on to our partners. If you push the same rate to hotel beds or web beds, and they're selling onward to the same partner, I can show you today what that looks like. But it's the markups can be quite substantial, and you have no idea what they're doing on the other end. So this allows the buyer to get the best deal, and that will drive more conversion for your hotel. I talked a little bit already about the BRG compliance. You know, we have a 3-strike rule. So the first strike, we shut off the hotel for that buyer. The second strike, we shut off the chain. The third strike, we switch them off the platform. And that is also a huge deterrent to bad actors on the platform. To give you an idea of the volume of BRGs, we get about 3 to 5 a month, and we do on average about 40,000 bookings a month. So it is very limited, but they do happen. And when they happen, again, we have our 3-strike rule, and you get $250 for a BRG violation. Oh, it was here in this one. I want to talk about this as well, because we pay the hotel with our VCC. So it's always an IOL VCC. And we have one customer support line for all of our customers. So you don't have to call separate customers. You just call us, and we have a VCC portal in case, for whatever reason, you accidentally overwrite the credit card information at the front desk. You can easily get a replacement card. And we also send down the IATA number of the buyer. So if you want to know who is buying, not only can you see it in IOL Pulse, which I'll show you in just a bit, but you can also see the IATA number, which should be attached to the reservation. If you've got PMS connected to Synexus, then you'll also get that in your PMS. It should flow down to your PMS. New markets, it's very interesting. I mean, some of the big markets we have are Asia Pacific in general, Thailand, China. We've got Russia is a big market. Middle East, not right now, of course, but Middle East in general is a big market for us. And then Europe and North America, surprisingly, is a very big market for us. So we tap into most, and now we're going into Latin America, which is, we've probably got about 20 or 30 connected partners in Latin America. So these are hotel partners that are currently working with us. You can see HotelREZ there, along with all the other hotel chains and brands that are connected to us. That's just a sample list. And as far as new agency partners, I'll share a list so that they can share a list of all the connected demand partners to us, so that you know who's connected. And certainly if you wanted to add someone who's not on the list, through HotelREZ, you can do that. But this is kind of just showing the different types of partners that are accessing our dynamic inventory. Iowa Pulse is our business intelligence. So Iowa Pulse gives you visibility on who is booking, where they're coming from. So I'm just going to switch out of the presentation. I hope this works well. You'll tell me if it doesn't. Just going to put independent hotels. So this is, for this webinar, I'm just going to do independent hotels, which is just a aggregation of I think 300 independent hotels. So this is your business intelligence, and all of you, everyone can get access to see. Yes,
Jeff, just quickly, we're still seeing the deck in case you've switched
yeah,
screens.
I did, so I'll share it again. Let me get you in the right screen. Thank you for letting me know.
Perfect. Now we see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So what you'll get is a dashboard that will show you your open that up. Revenue insights, basically what's going on, what you're getting. This rate parity is actually showing you how many times your rates are being undercut by someone else manipulating your rates. It could be a members only rate that Expedia has opened up to the B2B world, or Booking, or Agoda, or whoever, but this is not for Nova, so it's not to detect BRGs. What it's meant to do is help you optimize your distribution. Yeah. So when you go, when we go into rate parity insights, you can look at your rate parity, but you can also look at your distribution parity, which shows me how many times the rates were undercut in red, or how many times you had the rate plan closed. Okay, so you have the rate plan, but with no availability for the next 30 days. And it gives you a really nice view of what's happening and why you might not be getting the bookings. Because a lot of the times you think, well, they don't produce anything for us. But then when you look at this, you understand why. The rate plan is closed. In fact, most of the rate plans, 89% of the rate plans are closed. Yeah. And then I'm going to go into this, which would actually show you when you open this up. I'm not going to go into individual hotels because that wouldn't be right. But actually, I'll just show you what this looks like because it's important. When you look at the monthly view, which is coming up in just a second, you can see which states, the ones in orange are completely closed. Yeah. And the ones in brown show that there were rates available, just not on IOL for this hotel. Okay, so this allows you, hotels are always wondering, how do I know that the rates that I'm pushing through Synexus are actually available to the partner? And this is where you can see what's happening at your hotel or hotels if you manage multiple hotels. And that was, let me go back to the presentation now because that was just what I wanted to show. IOL Pulse. And this is something that you also have, I didn't show you, but you also have comp sets that you can build yourself and look at how your rates compare to a selection of partners or five-star hotels in your destination. And in the world we live in today, we also have a module for crisis intelligence. It's not just crisis, it's also like if you want to see let's say you ran a promotion as of May 9th, right? That promotion starts May 9th. We benchmark May 9th, and you can see what happens after May 9th and where the business is coming from, how many searches, etc. It gives you some intelligence on promotions. It also shows you if there was a geopolitical event as of the 28th of February, you can see that here and what the impact was as of that date. So lots of good information. This is a IOL dashboard. So we're constantly evolving this and adding new feature functionality. So in summary, what I want to make sure everybody got is we are not an OTA. This is not built for OTAs. Yes, I think we have 8 or 9 OTAs that have a specific feed for OTAs. So we have a B2C feed, but 90%, well, probably 95% of all of our partners are B2B. They're either DMCs, tour operators, or B2B portals, which are distribution aggregators that are getting your rates out to the local market. With that, I'm going to open up for questions and see if there are any questions to respond to.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the overview. And again, just to reiterate, we'll be sharing a copy of this deck along with that list of distribution and connection options. And should you want to discuss this in further detail around the integration, some of the operational benefits, the commercial modeling, then again, please reach out to your account manager or the account management at hotelrez.com email address. So Jeff, are you able to see the chat?
I am, yeah. So I see the first question about Agoda. Is Agoda an OTA platform? So they're both. Booking and Agoda have a B2B and a B2C component. So our partners are not allowed to distribute to Agoda if they're connected. We do have partners that we don't distribute to Booking or Expedia. But we do have partners, for example, Trip is a good example where they have a B2C and a B2B feed. Oh, and then the second question was, how do we get access to Pulse as a hotel? So I will share with HotelREZ the link, and you basically register for access, and you'll get credentials to sign in. You should probably always do this after you've gone live, because if you do it before, they won't be able to provide you credentials because you won't be live in our platform. And I don't see, are there more? There might be more.
No, I think they're the only two questions at the moment. Yeah, so we still have a whole 8 minutes in case any other questions you want to put in the chat, or alternatively, if anyone's feeling brave, feel free to come off mute and ask us live. Just give it a minute to see if anything else comes in.
Sure. No cost. So, sorry. So there's no cost from our side. I think that you do pay a booking fee for every booking that goes to the platform.
Correct. Yeah. So there is a fixed cost per booking, and again, we can discuss this in more detail. So for anyone that's wanting to delve a little deeper around the commercial modeling and about the costs, then again, please reach out to us and we can discuss that in more detail.
And the slides
Danny, yes.
will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Slides will be sent along with some additional information to give you a flavor of really what Tour Manager can do for you in terms of driving incremental revenue.
And then Jackie asked about a trend of promotions that will work specifically in South Africa. The ones that I've noticed have the most teeth are advanced purchase rates. So if you purchase 21 days before arrival, there's a special rate. Also long stay rates. Many of the hotels don't have those, but if you have a long stay rate that is discount, has a heavier discount because of the long stay, that will drive traffic. I mean, advanced purchase and early bird are kind of the same thing. I think those are the biggest drivers of traffic as far as promotions. And you can load those as a unique rate plan closed and open them whenever you want that business. You see much demand for the northeast of England. You would be surprised. We have business all over. So we literally in cities I've never heard of. So yes, the answer is yes. Obviously, if you're in London, there's going to be a lot more traffic than if you're in a, I don't know if York is northeast of England, but if you're in York, that's going to be a lot smaller than London. But yes, we do have traffic. Yeah, absolutely. So figures would be difficult because everyone's calling from a different spot. And so I wouldn't be able to send you all of our data. But I would say, what is the downside? I would ask yourself that question. If there's no cost and you only pay when you get a booking, that would be that would be I mean, I was on property for 15 years, and you know, there were very few times I got something for free. So pay to play is for me a no-brainer. I have a few hotels signed up, but not producing. Is there anything we need to do? Yes, anyone who is already signed up, if you're not seeing bookings, then share that information with HotelREZ. We are optimizing hotels one by one, but I can prioritize those hotels if I know which ones they are. And it's really easy to see in IOL Pulse what's going on and why you're not getting business.
Yeah, so Jackie, if you can get in touch with us, we can certainly take a deeper dive to understand what we can do to drive further business for those properties. All right, we have just a few more minutes left. Any other questions?
I think probably Frankie is the best first point of contact. Yes. We don't do groups. So, I mean, for me, we do up to 9 rooms, but I don't consider that a group. So these will all be individual. The idea of tour manager is to move offline FIT leisure rates to an online dynamic world. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Another question there from Jackie.
Yeah. So for the visas, they actually can't do that on our platform because these are only B2B buyers. So the buyers are actually having the money deducted from their wallet. So they're not going to pay us unless they get paid. And yeah, so no, we don't see that trend. I think that happens a lot more on the direct websites. Yeah. No, it does. It does happen. You will find what I have seen is for the very high end hotels, there's a lot more shopping. So they might book and then shop around to see if there's any other deal out there. So if that's one of your properties very high end, then you might have a slightly higher cancellation rate. So we pull everything for Andrew. We pull everything from Synexus. So once you've opted in with HotelREZ, it's pretty simple. There's the HotelREZ team will talk you through it, but basically we assign the new rate plans to our channel, and then they'll be pushed through to us, and we get all your content as well. Yeah, so we'll send the VCC down with the reservation. However, there are many reasons why that can be a challenge if you don't have, if your system is not connected to your PMS. So we have a VCC portal where with the information for the reservation, you can access it and get a new VCC. And it's self-help, so you don't have to call anybody or do anything.
Okay.
So Yanda, did that answer your question?
Hopefully. Great engagement in the chat. I'm sure that there's some other questions which will come up post this session, and when you've had a chance to digest some of the content that Jeff has run through kindly this morning. Again, please feel free to get in contact with your account manager or the account management at hotelrez.com email address post this session. We're pretty much at 30 minutes. So I guess we'll give everyone the gift of 1 whole minute. Thanks again, Jeff, for the presentation this morning, this afternoon, the evening, wherever people are dialing in from. Again, thank you for everyone taking the time and your participation and the engagement in the chat. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.